All right, considering the significant consequences of falling off the fiscal cliff, you'd think the president would have some sort of an interest in finding a solution to the crisis. However, it is now becoming increasingly obvious that something is standing in the way. So what could it be? Now, what is it that is preventing the president from negotiating or even offering up any meaningful concessions to Republicans? Well, now even a reporter at the left-wing newspaper, the New York Times, is admitting, well, it just may be Obama's arrogance. Watch this.
When you talk about the feeling at the White House, there's a palpable difference now compared to 2011, the summer of 2011. They are so much cockier right now at the White House than they were a year and a half ago when they were doing this. They really believe they're set out. We're not going to negotiate. You know, you come to us. We're not going to negotiate against ourselves. We're not going to keep putting out more proposals.
Now, my next guest argues that it's time for Republicans to stop trying to cut through the president's arrogance, walk away from the negotiating table. I've been saying that right here on this program. In fact, Congressman Allen West recently told the great one, Mark Levin, that it's, quote, silly to try and work with somebody who he believes is a, quote, Marxist, socialist, rigid ideologue. Here to elaborate on those comments, the man himself, Florida Congressman Colonel Allen West. Colonel, I don't remember that you ever said Marxist, socialist before. Maybe being freed up from Congress has allowed you to say that, or maybe I'm wrong in not hearing it before?
No, I've said that before because I think when you sit down and you look at the policies that have emanated from President Obama, his administration, this entire class warfare rhetoric that we continue to hear is definitely a Marxist theory. When you look at the nationalizing of production, being the healthcare industry, the Dodd-Frank with the financial industry, the automobile industry, what Lisa Jackson and the EPA is doing to the energy sector, and of course the National Labor Relations Board, that's nationalizing production. When you look at the incredible expansion of the welfare nanny state, and all of a sudden this belief of economic fairness, economic patriotism, fairness and fair shot, those are the type of policies and theories that are not consistent with a constitutional republic, definitely not consistent with our founding fathers and the type of people that they read, being Rousseau, Montesquieu, or John Locke. And so when you talk about the arrogance of the president, we reelected someone that went from $10.6 trillion to $16 trillion in debt. We've had 4 straight years of trillion-dollar deficits. We've had an incredible, earth-shattering numbers of Americans in poverty, Americans on food stamps. We've seen a 32% increase in welfare spending. We've seen gas prices being exorbitantly high. So he has every right to be arrogant and feel that he is never going to be held responsible.
But as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter what he does. And I think Republicans need to get over whatever their feelings are about the election. They were elected too. I don't know one Republican congressman, correct me if I'm wrong, that was sent there to support the president's agenda. When I vote for a congressman, I vote that they'll represent my interests. So the question is, do you think, and you're still in the halls of Congress, that these Republican leaders, are they going to be smart enough to shift it to where the direction the debate needs to go, spending, or do you think they're going to cave in?
I don't think they're going to cave in because I think that the Republican conference is going to stand firm. You're absolutely right. When you think about this whole discussion about tax rate hikes, first and foremost, look at California where they've raised the taxes, and they're not having any increase in revenue. As a matter of fact, top wage earners are leaving. Same as in England, same as with President Hollande in France. It's going to a 75% top rate. So that is not going to increase the revenue. And actually, we're only talking about $80 to $85 billion of new revenue annually, which does nothing to sustain 8.5 days for the federal government. So this is a gimmick.
All right. Let me ask you about comments you made to my buddy Mark. I'm not going away because my opponent had to cheat to beat me. Now, if we're going to save America, I think we've got to have Republicans. They are the only ones that can stop Obama's radical agenda on the economy. And similarly, if we're going to save this country, we need to know that our elections are free and fair. Do you believe you were cheated in this election?
Well, I will just quote the supervisor of elections from St. Lucie County. When they sent up the certified results, they sent it up saying that they knew that they had irregularities in those certified results. And the certified results that they sent up in St. Lucie County were different from the election night results. And furthermore, you had about a box of 306 ballots that were not even included in those certified results. As well, in Palm Beach County, you had the instance where the supervisor of election extended early voting to a Sunday, which was against the law that was supposed to have ended the early voting on Saturday, and no one was able to really understand and track the absentee ballots that were issued out. So if we do not have integrity of our voting process, our electoral process, and the American people lose trust and confidence, then we become nothing more than a Zimbabwe, and even worse, you don't have the consent of the governed, and that's the most important thing to sustain a republic.
What is the future for Colonel West? You've served your country in the military, you've served in Congress, this was a close election. Do you have any plans? Are you thinking about maybe running for elected office again?
Well, I'm not going to, put that out there right now. We have many options and opportunities that have come to us, and my wife Angela and our daughters Aubrey and Austin, we're going to sit down after Christmas and we're going to ponder over these things and we're going to pray about it. We're going to make the best decision for us as a family, but also to continue to serve this great republic that, going all the way back to my father who served in World War II, we've always been here for the American people.
All right, Colonel West, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.